Union Culture Minister Mahesh Sharma has stoked yet another controversy. This time, he compared Prime Minister Narendra Modi with father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. At the launch of a book on Mahatma Gandhi's Salt Satyagraha in Delhi, Mahesh Sharma said that India is fortunate to have another Gandhiji in the form of our Prime Minister who's like an inspiration. Speaking of Satyagraha, Sharma said that Gandhi's Satyagraha was not limited to fight against salt tax, but was also about inspiring people, which Prime Minister Modi was also espousing. The opposition predictably hit out at the Culture Minister, with NCP leader Majid Memon saying that Gandhiji was acknowledged while Prime Minister Modi is criticized.
आज हमारे बीच में हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी के रूप में एक और गांधी युग के प्रणेता के रूप में मैं समझता हूं जो उन्होंने शुरुआतें की हैं कि आज़ादी की रोशनी की किरण पायदान की सीढ़ी पर खड़े हुए अगर अंतिम व्यक्ति तक ना पहुंचे तो ऐसी आज़ादी बेमानी होगी। ये सपना है हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी का।
नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने हमेशा महात्मा गांधी के अच्छे कामों की प्रशंसा की। यदि आप स्वच्छ भारत की जब उन्होंने कार्यक्रम प्रारंभ किया तो उसमें महात्मा गांधी जी को केंद्र में बनाया और उन्हें सम्मान भी दिया है। इसलिए नरेंद्र मोदी जी महात्मा गांधी जी के विचारों से प्रभावित हैं और वो उनकी प्रशंसा करते हैं। पर महेश शर्मा जी ने जो उनकी तुलना की है वो उनकी भावना है।
So a fresh controversy there which has been stoked by Union Minister Mahesh Sharma, where he has compared Prime Minister Narendra Modi to essentially the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. The opposition has predictably hit out at Mahesh Sharma and has said that it is unfair to draw a parallel between Prime Minister Modi and Mahatma Gandhi. So Mahesh Sharma there sparking a fresh row with his comments saying that Modi inspires people like Mahatma Gandhi. So Union Minister in fact, Mahesh Sharma might have compared Prime Minister Modi to Mahatma Gandhi, but that for sure hasn't gone down well with the opposition. Joining me on the broadcast now is a senior editor, Brijesh Pandey. Brijesh, so yet another controversy which has now been stoked by Mahesh Sharma.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, even the Prime Minister wouldn't be too thrilled to being compared with Mahatma Gandhi because, he knows the stature of Mahatma Gandhi, and the fact is that this kind of sycophancy doesn't lie too well with him also, and he has been on numerous occasions advised his ministers to not indulge in these kind of comparisons. What this particular statement of Mahesh Sharma has done is that it has given opposition a handle to ridicule both the Prime Minister as well as the party, and this was something which could have easily been avoidable. Saurabh?
So clearly you say that, this kind of sycophancy is possibly something that is not going to go down well with Prime Minister Modi. But then any word there, Brijesh, coming in from Mahesh Sharma in justification of the statement that he made at the book launch function?
The statement which the real intent of what he wanted to say was that Prime Minister could have been compared with Mahatma Gandhi in the sense that, like Mahatma Gandhi, he is also inspiring generations. And this is where the comparison lies. But the fact is that, using the Satyagraha, Namak Satyagraha to buttress his point, to compare Mahatma Gandhi, to compare Prime Minister Narendra Modi with Mahatma Gandhi has definitely not gone down well, especially with the opposition party who have lost no time in attacking and ridiculing the BJP and Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Well, that's right, Brijesh. In fact, request you to stay on with us because we are now also joined by senior NCP leader Majid Memon on the broadcast. Sir, how would you react to the statement that has come in from Union Minister Mahesh Sharma, where he has clearly, quoted fresh controversy there, and he has compared Prime Minister Modi with Mahatma Gandhi?
See, a union minister or Mahesh Sharma, or for that matter any other union minister, praising his boss is understood. You see, there is no, grudge about praising the head of the cabinet. But then, to compare anybody, whether it is Narendra Modi or any other mortal in India now, in this 21st, comparing with a giant who is internationally acknowledged as the father of the nation is, I think, a little exaggeration. And therefore, I think Sharmaji should have praised the Prime Minister for whatever good qualities that he may see in him. It's, of course, acceptable. But he should not have compared him with Mahatma Gandhi, because I don't think any person in India is of a stature who could have anything or rather go near the father of the nation at all. Mahatma Gandhi enjoys the patronage not only within India as the father of nation, but all over the world.
I request you to stay on with us, Mr. Memon. We are also now joined on the broadcast by senior Congress leader Brijesh Kalappa there. Mr. Kalappa, how do you view the statement coming in from Mahesh Sharma, where he clearly says that Mahatma Gandhi, he's drawn a parallel between Mahatma Gandhi and Prime Minister Modi and equated them both?
When the BJP began, it was supposed to be a cadre-based party, but today it has become a fan club. And we have had in the south of India, we have had fan clubs become political parties. For instance, NTR, MGR, they all had fan clubs and these became political parties. Now here is a political party becoming a fan club. If you have a person who's a minister, sitting minister, comparing Mr. Modi with his past record to Mahatma Gandhi, I mean, the whole world will laugh at us. And, making such a statement, is this the reason Mr. Mahesh Sharma, who's only a junior minister, has been given the bungalow of Mr. Kalam, of the former president of India? It's this kind of sycophancy which the BJP is breeding. Yesterday there was a book written about Mr. Modi. I mean, what great thing has he done that a book has to be written about him and people should compare him to Mahatma Gandhi? There is a limit to sycophancy and BJP has crossed all these limits.
So you feel that there is a limit, there should be a limit to sycophancy, and that this political party has actually turned into a fan club there. If I could bring in Mr. Memon once again into the broadcast. Mr. Memon, that was the comment that came in from the Congress, with the Brijesh Kalappa clearly stating and making the point very, very clear that there is no space absolutely for sycophancy when it comes to politics, and that is the stand that the Congress party has taken. How would you react to this? Because this is something that it points to a larger issue, isn't it, where the ministers there, the junior mantris, seem to be going the whole hog to please the Prime Minister.
Well, assessment of an individual, a minister wants to call him demigod or may call him anything, well, it is his choice, but unfortunately it is a poor choice. And this is certainly something which is so very evidently appearing to be nothing but sycophancy. And, if you are thinking that Prime Minister would become too happy and Prime Minister will reward me with either better portfolio or some other privileges, I think this is what is happening in politics, which is nothing new. But then all said and done, I must repeat and say this, that any person for that matter, whether it is Narendra Modi ji or anybody else, today if you say that he is equal to Mahatma Gandhi, I remember that Hindi proverb that kaha Gangu Teli or kaha Raja Bhoj. You see, it is like that. So please, let us not bring down the stature of Mahatma Gandhi by comparing him with any living mortal in India in 21st century.
So you feel strongly that this is a very unfair comparison that has been drawn, an unfair parallel that has been drawn. Let me get in Mr. Brijesh Kalappa once again. Mr. Kalappa, where we see that if you look at what exactly Mr. Sharma said at that particular book launch event, he said that while talking about Mahatma Gandhi's contribution to the independence struggle, he said that the salt satyagraha was just not about a pinch of salt, but about inspiring generations, something that Prime Minister was also.
I don't know which kind of generation he is inspired so far, because as far as I'm concerned, I think all his pre-electoral promises have remained just that, they've just remained promises. He promised Pakistan a befitting lesson, and Pakistan is still troubling us. Promised to show Lala to China, and China is giving us even more trouble than we ever imagined. And whether in creation of jobs, he promised that he would create 2 crore jobs. But there's a serious problem in the market. He promised that the economy would boom, the GDP has fallen. On every count, whether he promised that he would provide protection for women are feeling even more helpless today. And whether the prices of essential commodities has risen exponentially. On every front he has failed. And if the BJP feels that we are going to remain in power for the next 2 years, and therefore we have to curry this gentleman's favor so that I can get a better portfolio or I can get a better job assignment, then they are free to practice their sycophancy. But the people are not buying this.
But also, Mr. Kalappa, what he said essentially is that he said, in context of Prime Minister Modi, he said that the Prime Minister started with the promise that the glow of freedom would reach every person in the country, and his dream is to fulfill the dreams of Gandhiji. The Ministry of Culture is duty-bound and committed to spreading his dreams and thoughts throughout the world for the sake of humanity. So that is also, in a way, he's trying to justify the statement that he's making, isn't it?
No, you see, you can justify it in any manner, but today people's freedoms have been clamped down on. People are being lynched. People are being killed. People are being beaten. Yesterday, a person was beaten, and he turned out to be a BJP person belonging to the minority community. He was a BJP leader, and he was beaten black and blue because he was carrying some meat. And now at this stage, to say that Modi is Gandhi is not just laughable, it's something which one has to cringe about. It is not just laughable. Laughable was maybe a year ago. But now it's something to cringe about. It's something to be ashamed of.
So the opposition clearly has taken a very strong exception to this statement that has come in from Union Culture Minister Mahesh Sharma. One quick comment there from Majid Memon before we move ahead in the bulletin. Mr. Memon, that how do you see this now? We saw that, how Gandhiji was, also Mahatma Gandhi was also described as a Chatur Banya, if you recall that just some time back. And now these parallel is being drawn where he's being eulogized and Prime Minister Modi is being compared with Mahatma Gandhi.
You see, when the Prime Minister spoke about Mahatma Gandhi, it was a left-handed compliment. And by that standard, this Union Minister of Narendra Modi ji is degrading him if he is comparing him with Mahatma Gandhi. This is something very reverse and strange. I must only ask one question to Sharma ji, that please honestly look into the promises that were thrown at the people of this country with great hope of this Prime Minister taking over on 2014. We have travelled more than a half term of that mandate. 3 years have already passed. Tell me how many promises have been fulfilled and how many promises are forgotten. Now, if Mr. Sharma looks at the performance card, he should himself be realizing that far from comparing with the great national hero of all times, that is Mahatma, he could not even be called as a successful Prime Minister of his term.
So clearly the opposition has taken strong exception of the comments that came in from Union Culture Minister Mahesh Sharma there. Thank you so much, Mr. Brijesh Kalappa and Majid Memon, for joining us this morning with your inputs on the story. But